Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor to you, brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Just gonna do a quick live based upon this video that I was watching with this uh Marquette the Saint. All right, now straight off the bat, we don't we here at Great Millstone, this guy Marquette, he's not a prophet, right? He doesn't share in the same doctrine, so we don't endorse this dude. But he says a lot of things I can agree with, but he ain't a man of the Lord, right? So don't start going crazy now. Start binging his videos and believing everything he says. All right. However, he was going up against this this J double O, right? And it's just gonna show you that these man they dwell in darkness, man. These are the people that dwell in darkness. They thrive in confusion. They're the purveyors of confusion and propaganda and lies and deception. That's their realm. That's where they live. All right, and this whole house of cards is gonna fall down on itself, and it's hilarious. It's it has to be studied, right? It's very hilarious to watch. But we're gonna play a bit of this, and then we're gonna get into the scriptures as it pertains to who the real Israelites are. This is jokes. All right, so oh, forgot to set up the comments, but let's just run with it.
I personally know Jews who have red hair, technically orange, who have blue eyes, who have bulbous noses, who have pointy noses, who have small noses, dark ones who are dark and claim to be Jews, ones who are light and claim to be Jews. So how does this make sense? Help me out.
Well, Jewish is a religion. It's not a specific ethnic.
Right, so straight off the bat, he's bringing confusion. So he's saying to be Jewish is a religion, which, I suppose, if you want to be technical by the word, it probably does. But you see, there's a confusion here because, on one hand, if you ask most people, especially the goofy Christians, well, who are the Israelites today? They're going to point to these guys, right? But straight off the bat, when this guy's asked to identify himself, he's talking about religion. So is it a religion or is it by descendancy? We're gonna find out. It's all confusion because these guys are not the real Israelites straight off the bat. Yeah, not as a whole. Okay, there might be there is going to be ones among them who are actually Israelites and don't even understand that in truth. But as a people, they're not the Israelites, and they definitely ain't the Jews. All right.
Ethnic group. I mean, you can be Muslim, you can be Christian. It doesn't mean that the fact you're black or white it has anything to do with your religion.
So what he's trying to basically say here is anyone can be Jewish. All right, which is interesting. All right.
So it's a religion. Judaism is a religion, and in Israel, you have many Jews from different parts of the world. So you have Ethiopian Jews, you have Russian Jews, about 2 million.
Right, which is true. You have people who call themselves Jews that have come from different parts of the world, mainly Europe, right? But you did have people who identified as Jews who were from North Africa, Ethiopia, so on and so forth. All right. Now, were there Jews that dwelt in North Africa? Yeah, you know about Jake that went down into Egypt and were dwelling in North Africa. You also got the Sephardics, so you did have Israelites who were still identifying themselves as Jews that were even in Europe. That's why the Sephardic Jews are separate to the Ashkenazi Jews. All right. Let's keep it going.
Pause you. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to do this a lot, only in as much as the topic is complex. So just prepare for me to interject a lot, respectfully, just so that we can elucidate. So, and the only reason I just want to catch you before you get too far. So I have a friend who by heritage is Estonian. So mother and father are Estonian, from California, very well-to-do, good people, very good people through and through. And he went on a birthright trip to Israel. And he is, not only is he an atheist, he is a devout atheist, and he will argue endlessly against any religious person, Jewish included. And he went on a birthright trip. Birth meaning he was born Jewish because his mother is Jewish by blood, which is in direct contradiction to what you just said. So if you'd go back and maybe correct some things.
Correct what?
Yeah, because you see, what he's doing is playing games, because he's trying to make it look like it's a religion. But if it's a religion, then why do you have a birthright holiday? Basically, like if you claim, if your mother is a so-called Jew, then you can get a trip to Israel based on birthright. But how can that be the case if he's saying it's based upon religion? So this is what they do: they spread confusion.
But well,
you said Judaism is only a religion, and I just pointed out that I have a friend who is in fact an atheist, and he went on a birthright trip to Israel because he has the birthright of a Jew, one born Jewish, but he is not religious at all.
So if a woman who is a Muslim convert to Judaism, and she did a whole process and she's Jewish and everything, and then she gives a birth to a boy, that boy has the same right as your Estonian.
That's crazy. So let's break down what he's saying here, right? You get a random woman, on any random woman from anywhere in the earth, yeah, random as you can be, yeah. Just run the AI into a random accumulator, like, and just pick out a woman at random in the earth, right? If that woman, no matter what she is ethnically, no matter what religion she is, whatever, if she decides today, okay, I'm Jewish, yeah, so she starts following Judaism or whatever the hell is they want to call it, right? And then she gives birth to a son or a daughter. That son or daughter is now Jewish by birth. Wow. That's insane. Let's hear that again. This is not biblical. This is what the devil does. The devil's all about spreading confusion.
Who is a Muslim convert to Judaism, and she did a whole
Jewish, but he is not religious at all.
So if a woman who is a Muslim convert to Judaism, and she did a whole process and she's Jewish and everything, and then she gives a birth to a boy, that boy has the same right as your Estonian friend. So if your mother is Jewish, then you're Jewish, but you can convert to Judaism and have the same claim and the same things. Moreover,
so are you claiming that there is no such thing as Jewish blood?
No, you have Jewish blood. You have Jewish blood, obviously. That has been from generations to generations.
All right. So listen, and so this is what they've done, man. This pure confusion, because that's where the devil dwells. The devil dwells in confusion. They can't dwell in righteous order and truth. There's no place for them there. All right. Let's get to the bottom of this. I can't see the comments. I need to. Let's get to the bottom of this real quick. It don't even take long. It don't take long at all. These men are taking the birdie. But that's how the thing go. You know, that's how the thing go, man. These men. Oh my God. Oh yeah, Bar was ages ago. Oh, damn. Let's get to the comments, guys. These men are taking the P. 100%. Oh my God. Oh yeah, Bar was ages ago. But that time is almost up, you know. Listen, the devil and all this confusion and all these lies. This time is almost up, man. It's played. Lies is played out, man. Lies and confusion is played out. It's almost time for that to all go. Right. So Basic scriptures now. Let's get straight off the top. What is a Jew? A Jew, right, is a member of the southern kingdom. Now, who was the southern kingdom? All right. In fact, can we get Wikipedia to get that up? Wikipedia. Southern kingdom of, right. So we'll let the AI break it down nice and slow here. So the southern kingdom of the divided Israelite kingdom is known as the kingdom of Judah. Judah. So you get Jew. It was established after the death of King Solomon when the United Kingdom split into two, with the northern part becoming the kingdom of Israel, right? So they weren't known as Jews. The kingdom of Judah consisted of what? The tribes of Judah and Benjamin, with Jerusalem at its capital. And then by extension, you had Levi there with them too. All right. The southern kingdom retained the name Judah and was centered around the tribe of Judah, tribe with Jerusalem as its capital and the location of the temple. Okay. So strictly speaking, to be a Jew, right, there is cultural significance to it, but to be a Jew ethnically would mean that you were from one of the tribes that was consisted of the southern kingdom. And 100% you must be an Israelite by heritage. Point blank period. Like it, and how do you identify this? Is it your mother? Like, where did they even get this from? This is why the devil, this devil has to go. Oh, your mother. Well, no, your lineage is, there's no lineage in the Bible that's determined by mother. Otherwise, Dinah would have been a tribe. There's no matriarch to any nation or tribe in the Bible, period. 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 Ask our artificial Idumea, see if they find one. There is no matriarch. There's only patriarch. Nowhere in the Bible is a nation of people descended from a woman. Right? The Lord separated the seed of man. Men carry the seed. Women are of the seed. Men carry the seed. Right? They pass the seed on. So a woman is of the seed, but a woman doesn't pass on seed. She takes in seed and hold. So technically, you could be of a completely different seed to your mother. That's why you could be of a different tribe to your mother. Your mother could be Benjamin and you could be Judah. So you're a completely different tribe to your mother. Right? Numbers 1 and 18. Now, that don't mean start running around disrespecting your mother. Like, okay, let's not be childish. Oh, we're just speaking the facts. Your mother could technically be a completely different nationality to you. Because you are what your father is. Right, and there's no confusion in that, and that's why there's no half people or quarter people, all this confusion that they try to push out there to hide themselves. Because really, they just don't want to be Edomites. Numbers 1 and 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old upward by their posts. So the seed is divided and attributed to the father, right? The father's lineage, not the mother. And it's got nothing to do with culture or religion. Your identity, your pure identity as you were born is according to your father. Now, you can identify otherwise and go do that, but that's not going to change what you were born. You understand? Like, I could go act like another nation and wear their clothes, and people might even call me that because that's how I act and that's how I portray myself. But the truth of it, when you get down to the nitty gritty, is I am what my father is. All right. That's how it goes. All right, Deuteronomy 32 and 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. and all the lands were named after men. So, like, this guy is just trying to muddy the waters and blow smoke. And the reason for that is that ultimately, when you go into the history, these people are converts. They're converts. They converted to Judaism and took upon themselves the identity of being Jewish, but they're not the actual Jews, meaning they didn't come through the seed bag of Judah or Benjamin or Levi or any of the other tribes if you wanted to stretch it that far. Period. All right. Where was I gonna go? Yes. Boom. Right. So there's a book called Ronald Sanders, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, right? Share where these people come from. And this is why they confuse and everything. Oh, your mother this. Because a lot of them, what they try to do is the Ashkenazis try to intermarry with the Sephardic Jews in Spain, right? To legitimize themselves. So it's like, oh yeah. So that's why they try to do this mother thing. It's a way of trying to get in, but it ain't gonna work. Nah, go work. Yeah? Nah, go work. So let's zoom in on this. So this is from Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. I got the book right here in front of me, so I know this is an actual picture. I've got the book here sitting in front of me as well. So it says here, Abderrahman's highly personal feelings later became more generalized one in a culture that always recognized the Middle East as its source. For Jews, right, these feelings were even more poignant and complex. Now, when it's speaking about Jews here, it's talking about actual Jews, are people who retained being a Jew in the Dark Ages, because there are people who retained being Jews did exist in those times, right? For Jews, these feelings were even more poignant and complex. The East was the region not only of the ancient homeland and of the more recent Babylonian centers of learning, but also in unknown regions beyond of the lost tribes of Israel, right? Because they knew that the lost tribes had gone to a land far away where no man had dwelt, and that's America. America, right? The Americas, as I should say. During the reign of Abderrahman III, word reached the court of Cordova about the existence of a nomadic people of the Central Asian steppes. Where's the Central Asian steppes? That's talking about the Khazarian, that's on the Caucasus area, right? A nomadic people of the Central Asian steppes called the Khazars, whose king and upper class, so not all of them, the king and upper class had been converted to Judaism some 200 years before, right? That's Kagan Bullen, right? He went shopping for a religion and converted himself and his upper class to Judaism. They had to either choose Christianity, Judaism, or Islam, and they chose Judaism for strategic reasons. Yeah, not because they believed. All right, these people don't believe because they still keep all their mysticism behind closed doors. Under circumstances that remain obscure, the Caliph's first minister, Hasdai ibn Shuprut, a Jew, meaning he was an Israelite that was still identifying as a Jew, because you had many Israelites during that time that didn't identify as being a Jew. They might have identified as being a Muslim or Moor or a Christian or a Scot, so on and so forth, right? Yeah, our people are messed up. It says, responded to the news by writing an excited letter to the Khazar king. Since the first reports on the Jewish Khazars had not mentioned the fact that they were converts, Hasdai thought that they might be descended from the lost tribes. In writing of a complex diplomatic measures he planned to take in order to get his letter conveyed across the world, he explained that he was doing all this in order to know the truth whether the Israelitish exiles anywhere form a one independent kingdom and are not subject to any foreign ruler. Meaning, is there anywhere where I could just be a Jew and we're all got our own thing going on? Because like I said, at that time, it was Christian and Islamic. Those were the major powers in the world at the time. And guess what? The Christian rulers, many of them were Israelites and many of the Muslims were Israelites. But they took upon themselves these religions. It says, if indeed I could learn that this was the case, then despising all my glory, abandoning my high estate, leaving my family, I would go over mountains and hills, through seas and lands, till I should arrive at the place where my lord the Khazar king resides, that I might see not only his glory and his magnificence, and that of his servants and ministers, but also the tranquility of the Israelites. On beholding this, my eyes would brighten, my reins would exalt, my lips would pour forth praises to God, who has not withdrawn his favor from his afflicted ones. Now, pre this, has thy later learned the truth about the origin of the Jewish Khazars, but they continue to be a source of excitement among Spanish Jews. So these Spanish Jews were real Jews. They were real. But they heard about these guys over here, and it just excited them that someone else was just on the same thing. You know, Jake. Right down to the time of Judah High Levi, whose great Arabic prose work Al-Khuzuri was inspired by them. Right? And guess what? Some of them actually went up and was dwelling with these Khazarians. Mad thing. Yeah? So this is why you got this guy over here spreading all this confusion about what a Jew is. Oh, yeah, well, you know, his religion and your mother, and if your mother changed religion to Jewish and has a son, then you get birthright. How is that? That's ridiculous. So your mother converts to Judaism and you get born and now you got the birthright. That's not how the birthright rolls. The birthright of being an Israelite is based upon your father's lineage going back to Abraham. You can't be born into this thing by your mother, man. That's a bastard. The scripture speaks about the illegitimate child, and that's a bastard. That's what the word is. What's the word in the Hebrew? I completely forgot. An illegitimate child, man. The bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Yeah, right. Deuteronomy 30:23-2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation. A bastard is a child who has an Israelite mother and a heathen father, meaning they're illegitimate. They're not even under the covenant, period. A mamzer. That's what a mamzer is. A bastard, illegitimate child. Right? Here it is, they've twisted it. They said born of a Jewish father and a heathen mother, or vice versa. No, it's born of a heathen father and an Israelite mother. That's what makes you a bastard, because you don't have any birthright. All right? You don't have any birthright, man. So this guy, man, these people are the purveyors of confusion, and they have to do this. They have to bring confusion because that's where the devil dwells. The devil can only dwell in confusion. That's why they spread it. They can only dwell in lies. That's why they spread it. These ain't the people, man. And what's proven that even more to the point is most of these, man, I ain't got a lot of time, so I'm going to run through this real quick. They're atheists, man. These man... hold on, where did I got it, man? These men are taking the bertie. They're absolutely taking the bertie, man, when you check it out. So this from Wikipedia, right? It says list of JOO-ish atheists and agnostics. The page lists well-known JOO, and by the way, they say they're atheists, but they all deal with the occult. So they're really witches and warlocks. When they say they're atheists, what they're saying is we reject the God of the Bible. That's really what that means, you know. This page lists well-known JOO-ish atheists and agnostics based upon JOO law's emphasis on matrilineal descent, which that's not a law. They just religiously conservative Orthodox JOO-ish authorities would accept an atheist born to a JOO mother as fully JOO. This is insanity. This confusion. A 2011 study found that half of all American JOOs have doubts about the existence of God, compared to 10 to 15% of other American religious groups. So when it comes to just even believing in the existence of the Most High, These men are the least likely to even believe that. They're like, nah. And you know why? You know why that is? Because the Most High God is against them. It's built within them to be against the Most High because there is no other way. Because the Most High is completely against Esau. Completely. Like literally, the Most High has written him out of life. Yeah, he's cooked. So there's no, even a heathen can be like, oh yeah, there's a Most High, because there's something in it for them. There's nothing in it in the spirit for an Edomite, because the best case scenario for an Edomite is that God don't exist. Do you understand this? The best case scenario for an Edomite is that God does not exist, because God existing is not good for them, because he is against them. Do you understand that? That's why these men, look, it says it right here. Half of them, they're like, no, I'm not sure about this God thing, you know. Yeah, of course you don't. And guess who was one of them? Let's get the one of the chief founders and the first prime minister of the Israeli state. Let me find him. Because them Zionists, the atheists, man, they didn't believe in God. They just used the Bible loosely to try and justify the land grab. That's all it was. They must have on the politics. Look at all these men are just on never-ending list of famous JOOs that don't believe in God. This is insane. I'm scrolling forever. Look, Frank Oppenheimer. None of these men are godless, man. It's a godless people. What are we talking about, man? You be struggling to make a list like that. Jake will be Satan himself and still believe in God. Like, what's going on? Politics. There we go. Ben Gurion, the Polish Israeli politician, founder, and the first prime minister of Israel. He's on the list. Right? Let's look at this Ben Gurion character. Right? These men are taking the birdie, no doubt, man. Right. One item on display, a note David Ben Gurion penned to Professor Samuel Hugo Bergman, a renowned philosopher and close friend of both Franz Kafka and Martin Buber, sheds light on the beliefs of Israel's founding father. After expressing his respect for believers, Ben Gurion wrote in a Hebrew note that the story of creation in Genesis cannot possibly be accepted as historical fact because no one was there to witness it. Yo, this man ain't got no faith. He don't believe in a record. The man's a devil. And this is the founder of the state of Israel. He's like, yeah, I don't believe what's written in there. So hold on. So then what's this all about then? It's a joke thing. What are we doing here? The man said he don't even, yeah, that Genesis thing now, man. Ain't nobody there to see all that. What? Lightning and thunder, man. Fire. Lava splash. That's what blasphemy. What? And this is so the Lord took this guy to rebuild it. Come on, man. Let's behave. All right. He said, I reject the atheist. It is impossible to think of any rule or order in nature without first assuming that outside of man there is a loftier, sublime intellect that we are unable to grasp. Yeah, that's Lucifer. They worship the spiritual demon Satan. He wrote, adding that attempts to describe the unknowable creative force are naive, haughtiness, arrogant pretense of a small creature towards its creator. So he's saying, look, man, you can't even describe it. So he don't believe in the Bible because the Bible describes the Most High. This man did not believe in the Bible. He's like, yeah, there must be some kind of thing going on out there. Confusion. I told you, these men spread confusion. Ben Gurion added that while prayer may be a necessary outpouring of the soul for some, it is certainly not a dialogue, and to think of it as such is simply self-deception. So my man didn't even believe in prayer. This man didn't believe in prayer. He didn't believe the Most High was listening. This guy is a demon. That's your man's. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. What was this one? Yeah, I don't know. I must have came up from before. Okay, I must have had that before. Yeah, so these men are atheists, man. These men don't even believe in God. They definitely don't believe in the God of the Bible. Right? This is a joke thing that we're dealing with. We're dealing with devils. All right, 100%. So yeah, I got to head off to the plantation. The water for the Arkin that was posting and the elders that's posting the comments on the comment board. Oh, let me get these scriptures out real quick because I wanted to get to that point actually. That shows that we're the Israelites, because right now we're being sanctified by this truth, right? This truth, this ministry is a form of sanctification. All right, John, where we at? 17 and 17 says, "Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth." The ones who have been sanctified by this truth is who? Us. Not them. They're not being sanctified by the truth. The truth is against them. We're being sanctified by this truth, right? Which is prophecy. Ezekiel 37 and 37 and 27. "My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore." So the Lord is going to sanctify who? Israel. And we're being sanctified through this word, through this knowledge, through this truth, not through this confusion that these men are under. Yeah? That proves that we're the Israelites. These men are not being sanctified. They dwell in darkness and confusion, man. And they love it. All right. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 13. "But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth." And so that's really what it's gonna come down to. We believe in the truth. That's because we're Israelites by birth. So the Lord is sanctifying us for that truth. Now, are there ones among them that are Israelites? Because our people are scattered among all people, even under these devils. So is there going to be ones of them that are among our people and going to receive the truth and be delivered? 100%. But these people as a whole, they're not the people of the Lord, man. They're D to the E to the you know what. They're the devils. 100%. All right, 100%. They can't even break down their identity without telling lies and confusion. It's crazy out here. Anyway, Salaki, I gotta head to the plantation, but I just wanted to bring that out real quick. You can go check this whole yeah, this was a live that he had a debate with this guy. He's actually an IDF soldier, and it was funny as hell, man. You know, one thing about the Saint, man, he one of them ancient Israelite orators, man. You know, when you go back in the scriptures and it talks about Jerusalem, how we had the orators and all them guys. Hey, he was one of them, man. This guy can talk. He knows how to break people down with words, man. Very intelligent brother. He ain't crossed over fully into the realm of truth yet, but he getting there. You never know. You know, I think he knows he's an Israelite based upon a lot of things he says, but like I said, he ain't in Great Millstone, and he don't teach the 100% truth. So I can't endorse him, but he be breaking people down still. All right, but you know, if you want 100% truth, where you need to come at, you know what I mean? Not these guys. We use these guys as and when they do some good work. All right, so yeah, the word to the elders and the Arkim on the comment board posting the scripts, man. I gotta get out of here, man. So Kahala Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters, listening and learning. Shalom to you, brothers that's teaching too. Shalom, shalom.